Sorry about that. What can I do to fix that? I don't know. Somehow, finally, the light is too bright in here. Usually it's too dark. Hello to YouTube, hello to Instagram, hello to Twitch, Facebook, etc., etc., etc. Oh, I see that this badges thing is still on, so I won't be able to do questions, but this is our weekly Q&A. I don't know. What's up, Chuck? What's up, David? Storytelling. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. We are here. We are here. We're back for another weekly Q&A. What's up, official King Rich, Yashi, trombone. We're here to chat about whatever you guys want to talk about in terms of jazz, trombone, music, etc., etc. And we come each and every Tuesday at this time. What's up, Tom? So if you don't have a good question today, you can always save it up and join us any Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And today I want to, while we're waiting for some people to join and waiting for people to drop in their questions into the comments or into the stream here on Instagram, I had the great fortune, we at UNT have the great fortune that we had guest artist today, Clay Jenkins from the Eastman School of Music, a great trumpet player. He was one of my teachers. See, my mask has ruined my hair, so there's that too. But so Clay was giving a master class this morning, and it reminded me of all the things he said that had worked their way into my subconscious, and the way that I think about music and the way that I think about teaching jazz improvisation. And it was all just like right there, and he described it in the same way that I think about it. And I was like, man, I forgot how much I stole from Clay. So I want to start it out today with a big shout out to Clay Jenkins. If you don't know his music, he's a great trumpet player, composer. He's up at Eastman in Rochester, but spent a long time on the West Coast in LA, plays with the Clayton Hamilton Band, played with Stan Kenton's orchestra, and just a whole bunch of things. So yeah, you know, that's the thing. And it was really important to me. And he was just giving this master class, and it was really good to hear that. And so I was just thinking about all the things that you grab from teachers, you know, along the way, and how everyone, you know, is a product of, you know, all the teachers they've had over time, and that there's no one right way to describe things. There's no one right way to teach things, but like you're really an amalgamation of all those different all those different teachers, and finding like what works for you, and turning up the volume on this microphone so that you can hear me a little bit better. And I don't know, it just really made a big impact on me to hear all the things that I had thought about come out somebody else's mouth, and that be the person who was the source of that information. I was like, oh, I stole all this stuff from him. So anyway, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about all the teachers, Steve Teray and Wycliffe Gordon and Mark Kellogg, all the main like trombone teachers I've had in my life, and all the things that I've borrowed, stolen, etc. So I hope as you're going through your journey, you know, you're thinking about grabbing all of those things from whomever it might be, you know, because you never know how they'll manifest when you put them all together. And, you know, just think about, yeah. And I think there's a really tight connection between like how a person thinks about music and how they speak and how they teach, and all those things. They're all interconnected, and you can't really escape it. But I just wanted to open up today with that little thought, but feel free to drop in any questions you have. I see there's one here on YouTube, which we'll get started with, and then we'll just kind of roll from here. So happy to chat, go in whatever directions you all want to go. So just let me know. For some reason, it won't let me turn on the question thing on Instagram this time. But BJ, okay, how do you play any suggestion pieces? If so, can you play Cave You Fear by Michael Markowski? I don't know that piece. So no, I can't play it because I've never heard of it before right now, unfortunately. Sorry. Is that I don't know what that is. Play Cave You Fear. I don't know. And necessarily have any pieces to suggest to you. I like, if you're looking for tunes to play, I recommend listening and finding things that you really like and learning them, whether that be jazz or classical or music on the radio or anything. It doesn't have to be only jazz, right? It could be anything. And so I think it's important to just explore and find things you actually like, because sometimes, you get with a teacher and that teacher is really helpful and effective, but sometimes there's not always a symbiosis at the beginning between like what you like and what you want to learn and what you really need to learn. So you have to kind of take it on yourself to bring the joy of music making into your practice by having things that you like to play and having music that you like to play regularly and things that you can practice, whether it's horn parts on a chart, from a pop act or salsa music or something like that, or it's learning the melody to a tune, big band chart, any of that stuff. It's all good. It's all helpful. And at the beginning of like when you're playing, for the first at least 3 to 5 years of playing, like it's really just about having the horn on your face as much as possible, getting hours in on the horn, developing a really good sound, really good fundamentals, all of those great things. And at the beginning, it's not so much a big deal what you're playing. It's just that you are playing and that you are getting reps. You're doing it. You're playing and listening and making music. So that's a big thing. So I'm sorry I don't know this piece, BJ, but when you're finding music to play, I would definitely recommend finding things that you really love and going from there. And what's up, Alton? Hope you're doing good, man. What'd you say you're doing? You're going to Chicago. Hope you don't get stuck in Texas and not make it to Chicago. There's a big storm this weekend. We'll see what happens. Not even this weekend. Tomorrow, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Gotta love it. But I think New Trier Jazz Festival, I think that's what I saw with Ulysses Owens Jr. Big Band. And if you didn't know, my label, Outside of Music, we put that out. Put that record out. And it came out in May. A great May of 2021. Sorry, now it's 2022. But May of last year. Yeah, exactly. No one might get there. I hope not. I hope it happens. It's always tough at this time of year, man. These gigs. Even several years ago. I think it's the same storm. Yeah. The same huge, big storm everywhere. What's up, Connor? You owe me that video, man. I'm still waiting for your video, Connor. Connor and I had a lesson recently talking about Pixie Mute and Plunger, talking about some Lawrence Brown, talking about Wycliffe Gordon, sounds on the plunger. If you don't know, like that Pixie Mute and Plunger tradition, you can check out people like Tricky Sam Nanton, check out people like Lawrence Brown, Wycliffe Gordon. Obviously, Steve Teray is great at it. Michael Deese does a great plunger, Pixie plunger. Ed Neumeister. There's a lot of great musicians to kind of keep that tradition going, but not everybody. It's really, really important to me because I'm an Ellington head. What can I say? What's up, Evan? What's up, 1L? Thanks for joining. We're having our weekly chat here, weekly Q&A. I think we accidentally went past 100 episodes, and I didn't remember that we were there already. So I was going to try to do something special, but I think I forgot. It's been super busy with the start of the semester last couple of weeks, and some other stuff happening. But nice. Yep. You got to get that sweet and pungent together. Man, you know what we were just listening to? This is unrelated. Other than it's a transcription to do. But a student of mine today, we were talking about Julian Priester. If you don't know Julian Priester, you're missing out. A fantastic trombonist, and he's still with us. He is living in Seattle, still doing his thing. But Julian Priester, he's got a great record called Swingin'. What is it called? I just had it pulled up here. Swingin', right here. Keep Swingin', sorry. Keep Swingin'. And we're going to work on a tune called Julian's Tune. We are. And it's got, yeah, see, Alton has the right idea. Yep. Julian Priester. And you know what's super interesting? if you're super nerdy about jazz trombone like I am, is if you listen to Julian and then you listen to Steve Teray. You can hear it. You can hear there's like a direct connection in terms of, to me, the like placement of the beat and the articulation, you know? Yeah, bebop and D flat, baby. Give me that bebop. Julian's got great long lines too. And he also plays avant-garde super well. He played with Sun Ra and like all the, you know, that whole scene. And like he's got a bunch of records that are all kind of crazy. Like he played with Mwandishi, you know, the Herbie Hancock Mwandishi. He played with everybody, man. He played with. Anyway, he was, but you know, he was there at the same time. That record is from 1960, so it's like the same time as the Messengers with Curtis and Train with Curtis in there, and like JJ is doing his thing at this time. That's a hard act to follow, you know. JJ Johnson and Curtis Fuller, Slide Hampton. You know, Julian just kind of made his own scene, man, and did his thing. Oh, look, Alton did a paper on him. Nice. Yeah, he did a lot of things, man. He's great. And underrepresented in the quote-unquote usual jazz trombone, like, study session. But there's a lot of guys like that. Since we're on the topic, I'll just list off all the guys that probably you haven't listened to enough that, you know, you could check out. So JJ always talked about one of his big influences named Frank Rehak. You know, so Frank Rehak is like a swing era trombonist that started moving towards bebop stuff, right? And there's also Bill Harris. People don't talk about Bill Harris that much. I know Mike Dees does, and I know that. So Alton, I know you know about him, and other people do know about him, but the general world of trombone maybe doesn't. Like, I think Brookmeyer talked about him too, Bill Harris. And yeah, and then you go I'm going backwards in my mind here. And then there's all the great trombonists from the Ellington band, like Tyree Glenn and Vic Dickinson. And Tyree Glenn also played with Count Basie. Obviously there's the Basie trombone section. But, you know, some other people keep going back, like Miff Mull, you know. Everyone talks about Kid Ory. Less people talk about Miff Mull. And Jack Jenny. Jack Jenny is like a swing era, like sweet trombonist, kind of like a Tommy Dorsey. Mostly known for his great trombone playing, not so much known for like necessarily like improvising that much. Sorry, like Tommy Dorsey. Like not necessarily an improviser, but an important voice in the history, you know, the development of the music and the trombone. I thought you would have known about him because, sorry, I'm responding to Alton's question without saying. He says doesn't think he's talking about Bill Harris, and because I know DJ was doing some stuff with Mike on that from a record of his, also. But anyway, I mean, there's so many people. You can't know everyone. You can't be like super deep on everyone. You just have to pick your battles. You know, that's what I usually say. Pick your battles and go deep on what you're passionate about. And of course, things that are important too. But who did we miss? A lot of people I missed, but we were talking about, oh yeah. And if you're going to go all the way back, talk about Miff Mull and Jack Jenny and all of them, you got to check out Dickie Wells, man. He played with Count Basie too. Dickie Wells Blues, man. First time I met Steve Teray, he gave me this transcription of the Dickie Wells Blues. And man, he plays some stuff, man. He plays up, slams out this high F. Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. You got to check this out. I don't know if it's on streaming or not, the Dickie Wells Blues, but worth checking out. And so here you're getting the full effect of super jazz trombone nerd right now. But what are you going to do? Anyway, those are some lesser known people that you might want to check out. Alton says Nick Finzer. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Nice. Killing. All right, so I went off on a whole little diatribe here about history of jazz trombone, but what's up? Welcome some people in that may be here or not here still, but Caleb's here, Anga, Renan, Gustavo, Walt, thanks for joining. yeah, it's a quiet Tuesday afternoon today. There's a few less people on than usual, and so this is your chance. If you've been meaning to ask a question and felt like you couldn't get it through the chitter chatter, drop it in now. What else is happening? Putting on a concert live stream actually tomorrow night, pending the weather, I suppose, but a live stream tomorrow night of some music, some different music. When I was in college, I started a nonprofit called the Institute for Creative Music with a good friend of mine who's a drummer. His name's Chris Teal. And fortuitously, his wife, Kim Teal, got hired here at UNT, started teaching this year. And so they moved to Denton. And so anyway, back in kind of the same neck of the woods. And so we've kind of revived our nonprofit that we had. Like I said, it's called the Institute for Creative Music. And so something that we've done over the last several years is try to take some music that's maybe not part of the jazz tradition and, put it into an improvised music context. And we've done that with people like Prince and Radiohead and, things like that. And so we're kind of checking out some music by, we also did with Bjork, but we're going to do St. Vincent, a great singer, an artist, makes some pretty interesting music. That's not, like I said, not necessarily part of the jazz canon, but you like Joe Lovano says, which I'm pretty sure turns out that he stole it from somebody else, that jazz is more of a how than a what. It's not like one specific thing. It's a frame of mind. It's a way of approaching music. There are certain elements that everyone probably would agree are part of it, or not agree. Probably not agree, I suppose. But at any rate, that's coming up, which will be cool. That's coming up tomorrow. And if you missed it last night, you can go back on the streaming on YouTube or Facebook or wherever and find we did a concert of about half the record of Exposition, my first record. I was like, I haven't played these tunes in a long time and wanted to check some of them out. So we went and played half that record last night on a live stream from here, from UNT. And yeah, it was good. Good to kind of go back and check those things out. And, as the professor now, if I was going to critique myself from then, there's a lot of things I would probably say and do a little bit differently in terms of writing the charts and all that stuff. All right, you too, man. King Rich, have a great evening. What's up, Russia in the house? Daniel Land, thanks for being here. Trombone, Daniel Land. Anyway, there's a question from John. When playing an eighth note pickup into a phrase that requires double tonguing, do you always play that pickup with the double triple tonguing? Oh, I know what you mean. So it's like da da da, 1, 2, 3, 4, ba da da do dee da, or like ba da 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 da, or something like that, where there's a pickup. Da 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 da. I guess I did single on both. Da 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 da. 2, 3, 4. Ba do 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 do. Ba do da 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 da. Yeah, I always do a double single tongue first, because maybe I should be practicing this more. I haven't practiced putting the opposite syllable on the downbeat, because usually with the multiple tongue it'd be like digga 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 da, instead of like good 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 good. I can't even say it. Good 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 good. I can't do it. So no, I've never practiced that. So I always do a double single. Da 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 da. Anyway, here's a question from Alton. When do you generally release your books? When they're done? He says like fall, summer. Well, over the years of doing it, I have, I've kind of come to, there's a certain amount of time where it's like, okay, I have to give myself time to get it done, and then when it's done, I try to get it to the market and just put it out, right? There's that mentality of it, but then kind of like where it fits in the semester, like when people are hungry for like new materials, probably the beginning of a semester, right? It's like people are hungry. By the end of the semester, they're kind of done. Maybe sometime in the summer or when there's breaks, different things. And it just depends. If you can get people to be recommending your books for things, then putting stuff out with enough time for people to check it out and then put it out for use in the fall or the spring. But honestly, most of the books have sold about the same regardless of when I put them out. So something that does affect those how close you put them out together. So right now I just brought them all here too. Right now I have, I think, four books. There's Get Ahead, which I don't have any copies of left in person in my office. Get Ahead was the first book, which came out in 2013. And then I put out no books until I started teaching at UNT here. And then we got, what order did I do these in? I forget. But I have this one, Get Set, which is a etude book. But then I kind of went too fast and I put out this other one, this warm-up book, and kind of they were too close together. And then I went again and did the same thing, and then I put a third book out, this language book. This was all during the pandemic. I first got this etude book out. That was my little project, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I realized I put out too many books too fast, and I had been working on this duet book, this one. It's called Get To It. I got this big stack of books here. I probably look like an idiot, but so there's this one, and I waited on this one and gave myself like a year or so after these ones. These all came out within a year of one another. It was probably too many things because it was just like books, you know. But now, so I guess now I have 5 books: a warm up, an etude book, a duet book. Warm up, etudes, duets. This language book, which is the first of, I think, of a few more to come. Whoops, sorry, that was probably loud. Sorry about that. And then Get Ahead, which was the first one, which also probably needs a revision. And then if you want to get this super hyped up preview, this is my new book that's going to come out sometime before the end of the semester. I'm pretty sure we're close. I just printed this is a proof copy. That's why it's got this band on it here. But it's a proof copy. But this book will be coming, Create, Connect, Repeat. It's a manifestation of a lot of the things that I do with the label. I'm talking about music business and career building and all these kind of things. So that'll be coming out sometime before the end of this semester. I'm guessing probably towards the end, probably in April. We'll probably get that out because I want to have a good amount of time to pump it up, before it comes out. And I'm just getting it through the final printing stages, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know. Sorry, that was a long answer to your question. Alton, sorry. All right, Dan, when recording and mixing yourself, what's your thought process on EQ? So I kind of talked to John Fedchuk about this, and he's got some pretty good ideas about it. I kind of know what I want my sound to sound like. And the short answer to your question is I roll off everything that's, unusable in the low frequencies, like below 50K for sure. And then above 5K, you can kind of just get rid of it all. It gets rid of all this stuff from the mic being too close to the bell, or all the sometimes I put it up more, 55 or 6K. It just depends on the microphone too, I like to use my favorite microphone is a Coles 4038. Is that what it is? Coles 40. It looks like a triangle. They're really expensive. I don't have one personally, but I have a cheap ribbon mic that I do use here. Cheap, I mean relatively less inexpensive than the $2,500 matched pair of Coles. But anyway, but so when I'm mixing myself, if I'm playing a small horn versus a large horn, I do EQ them differently. If I'm doing a layered thing, I try to change some of them so that we don't get too much chorusy effect, change the sound quality a little bit. So some are a little brighter, some are a little darker. But when it's just me by myself, I kind of know what the sound is. And when I'm doing it here in my office in the live streams and stuff, it's pretty okay, but it's a little closer when I do actually mix those sessions afterwards, because I record them and then I do some mixing, and then you can check out the individual tunes sometimes on my channel, on my YouTube channel, if you're interested. And then what other tips can I give about that? I think that's it. I'm not an audio engineer, so I just do kind of a minimal amount to kind of make it sound good to me. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. I like the sound of a ribbon mic on the trombone. I also like the RE20. That's a dynamic microphone. Some people I like it on bass too, but I use that on my trombone sometimes too. All right, Connor wants to know about whisper tones. Yeah, I talk about them a lot. Yes, do whisper tones. Doing whisper tones means playing exactly at the point at which your sound starts and stops. So you can either go at it from no sound to sound, or sound and decrescendo to nothing. Teray always said, JJ talked about these, and it helps to focus in your sound. If I'm feeling fuzzy, my sound is feeling fuzzy, I try to do them because it makes you aware of exactly the point on your chops, like literally exactly the point where your sound is coming from, where the vibrations are happening, right? So you can kind of do that. It helps you focus in, and it kind of, get the air kind of focused. Not to use the same word over again, but it really helps create that funnel focus kind of vibe there. So yes, whisper tones. Do whisper tones. I'd start with F, and then they're a little easier on low B flat, harder on high B flat. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll play like F in first, and then I'll do one on F in sixth, and then I'll kind of go up chromatically, Yes, do whisper tones. All right, Dr. B is in the house. Hi, Nick. For my ear, my Funny Valentine, the original key of C minor does not sound good. Too low in the beginning. Do you have a certain range you find best for soloing on bone? Happy New Year to you, too. Yeah, I mean, JJ was notorious for putting tunes up, notorious in a good way, not notorious in a bad way, but JJ was notorious for putting tunes up a fourth or a fifth. Like, for example, instead of playing, what is this tune called? He'd play it like, he'd play it in A flat, there'll never be another U, right? Or like, so if you're talking about My Funny Valentine, if you play it up an octave, it's cool. But if you want to split the difference, you should do it in up a fourth, right? So from C, you go to F minor. Yeah, Stevie D did the same thing. That's right. Putting the trombone into like the speaking register of the trombone. So if anything's too low, probably just put it up a fourth or a fifth, and you'll be good. Sometimes I like to put it in a different key. If I'm going to move it anyway, I mean, the more you play tunes in different keys, you start to realize that every key kind of has its own feeling. Like G and D feel happier to me than B flat and E flat, for example. So like I might want to put it, if that's the a certain vibe of the tune that you want to get, you might want to move it to a key that feels a little happier or sadder to you, depending on the vibe of the tune. If you go by pop culture rules, then we should be playing it in D minor, right? Anyway, but yeah, so changing keys is a great idea. The real book is just a guide. If you think that the only key to play a tune in is the one that's in the real book, you are mistaken. Lots of people change the keys for that exact reason, because it's not going to fit the same on any two instruments. Trumpet is different than saxophone. The saxophones are all different. They have the best, the best range, right? So, and also where you're comfortable. If you want to be able to take it up an octave, you can't go too high, right? Because now if you played an F, if you want to play the last A up an octave, it's going to be a little higher. So it's definitely about when where you're comfortable as well. So taking all those things into effect is a good idea, I think. All right, I got time for a couple more things, a couple more minutes, a couple more questions if people want to drop them in for now. I have some things to attend to before my next appointment. It sounds so official. Before my next obligation, whatever. I hope if you do get caught in a storm this week that you stay safe and stay warm. Yeah, we can talk soon. That's cool. We might have 3 or 4 days totally free pretty soon here. But yeah, check out Julian Priester if you haven't checked out Julian Priester yet, or if you want to, go back in the stream once it's posted here, and you can go and find out all the other names of all those other trombone players you might want to check out if you want to get super deep into the history of the trombone. Specifically, I'm talking about jazz trombone, of course. But all right, I'll give it another 30 seconds here for people to catch up and think anything else they want to chat about today. But yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else for right now. There's a bunch of things on my mind that I got to take care of, so I'm a little bit scattered today. But I got my coffee, and I'm ready for the rest of the day. So tomorrow night, if you want to check out the live stream, it'll be on Facebook and YouTube. Probably not Instagram, because the music live streaming is a little more difficult getting it into Instagram there. I do have the equipment, but I just still haven't gotten it set up. But okay, so I'm going to wrap it up for today. I'm really glad to hang out with all of you today and chat a little bit. So we'll be back for an episode next week. No, I will not be at TMEA. I don't. Yeah, I got other stuff to do, so I won't be at TMEA. One of these years, I guess I should probably go to that. I've heard it's cool, but I just haven't made time for it. Okay, last minute question here. What's your process for transcribing chords from a recording? So chords, bass line, try to hear the bass, the roots. If I don't know which one of the notes is the bass line, the root of the chord, I'll go ahead and transcribe the whole measure, right? Figure out what the bass player is doing. If that doesn't help, then maybe I'll go to another chorus and find the same spot. Like, what does he play there? And see if it's the same or different. Okay, and so then I need the quality. The qualities is the third major or minor? I mean, eventually you can just identify the chord altogether, but at the beginning, it's like, all right, is it major or minor? That's it. Or is it sus? I guess is the third option, but like major, minor, and then it's like, okay, seventh, major, minor, those are kind of our options. And it's literally, I used to do in college, when I had to build my ears up from scratch because I just did, especially harmonically. So I would press the space bar, play, get to the spot, stop it, try to hear it in the air, and then sometimes I'd have to guess. And if I knew it was G, and then I'll be like, is it B natural? Is it B flat? Like, which one is it? I don't know, and so I would go back and forth, like B natural, B flat, B natural, B flat, I don't know. And so that's what I would do. And I would just go back, reverse it, and then just play it along with the record. Does it fit? Okay, that sounds right. And so then I would go on from there. Does that sound slow and tedious? Yes. Did it get faster? Yes. So the more you can play the piano, the more you can start to identify full chord sounds altogether, in my estimation. Well, look at that. Cuddles Lynn, thank you. Bought a badge. Thank you very much. I'm glad you could come hang out with us today. Hopefully some of this jazz trombone content is useful to you. Excellent. Well, I hope that helps. I got to run, but hope that's useful to you, Connor. And we'll wrap soon. I'm looking forward to your video soon. So I got to go. I'll catch you all soon. Adios.